Hey, what's up YouTube? It's me, Sarah, and today I'm going to be giving some real advice when it comes to dating in the military. So if you are new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. My channel is a mix of skincare, lifestyle, and inspiration. I like to share my personal experiences and my knowledge to help anyone out there who may be struggling. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as check my description down below. I have additional information as well as different ways for y'all to be able to connect with me. I have to carry my laptop because I have notes. So I'm going to be talking about what the experience was like before, during, and after he was deployed. I'll also be going over what some of the warning signs were, what some of the red flags, things whenever I look back on it now I should have just trusted my gut instinct. So before being deployed, we were dating for about a year. He was almost too convenient to have in my life. I met him while I was at work. My brother worked with him, and then one day the stars aligned to where we officially met, and from there we just took off. We really jumped into the relationship a month after we started talking. Before getting into the relationship, I already knew that that was his main goal, as to eventually join the Navy. Nothing else was gonna get in the way of that. So I just continued. I hopped on this train of supporting him and his goals so much to the point that I lost myself in this relationship, and I started putting his needs before mine. I just started making everything a lot easier for him to attain. If we got into fights, I'd always be the one to want to work it out, talk about it, and just figure out why both parties were upset. But he was always the one to eventually shut off his phone so he could go to sleep because he had a 4 a.m. training session the next day. At the time, I thought it was a little thing that always bothered me. We never got to a point where we were able to communicate about our issues effectively. If y'all are intending on growing together as a team, y'all both have to want to be able to work it out and reflect on what was going wrong. One person can't be giving 90% and the other person only 10%, because it will never work out. You will experience burnout. It doesn't always have to be 100%. Sometimes, they're not in the best place at the time to really put in their effort to want to work out a problem, and I completely get that. But if a majority of your relationship you are the only one trying to work things out, I promise you, whenever they deploy, they're not going to want to work it out 1,000 or so miles away. They are not going to want to do that to maintain the relationship. Then came the day where he was told that he was going to get deployed. So I had maybe 1 or 2 months left with him before he had to leave for basic training, and the day that he was going to leave was a few days before my birthday. So that was a lot for me to take in. I wasn't really shocked that the day had already come, but I was mostly feeling this deep panic inside of me. I was running out of time with him. I wasn't ready for my days to not be completely filled with him. That was the type of anxiety I felt. That panic came from a place of me not wanting to fully focus on myself just yet. That's a big thing. If you are not okay being alone, this relationship is going to be way harder long distance. You have to be okay with the thought of being alone. And if you're not, then you've got to find a partner who's going to be there for you and present in your life, or else you're never really going to be happy with a long distance relationship. The thought of being alone and not in the company of your partner should not scare you. He immensely prepared me before he had to leave for basic training. 3 months, they will not be able to text you, call you. They won't even have their phone at all. The only way to communicate is gonna be through handwritten letters, which is kind of romantic. It's kind of cute, and I really didn't mind that aspect. But when they are in basic training, they will be allowed to call you maybe 1 or 2 times. Again, there's no definitive date. Just like in the military, nothing is set in stone. You have to be okay with flowing with the wind and just kind of going with it. And if you're not okay with that, if you're not okay with these unpredictable schedules, or you never know when you're gonna be able to call them, this is gonna be really tough for you. So then came the day where he called me while I was at work, and he told me I'm going to be graduating this day. Only a certain amount of people are allowed to be at the graduation ceremony, so of course, since I was his girlfriend, I was allowed to go, and then his mom, his brother, and I think his dad. So I flew out to Chicago with his family. I stayed there for a weekend. After graduation, I thought our relationship would be a lot easier to maintain, but I was wrong. After they graduate, you are allowed to schedule visits with them. I live in Texas, so if I wanted to visit him, I would really have to book plane tickets to Chicago. I really had like very limited days that I would be able to take off of work. So I would literally dedicate a Friday and a Saturday of calling off work, and then I would come home on a Sunday. I would get there and then have time to drive up to the hotel, which is like an hour from the airport, hour and a half. All day Saturday we'd be able to spend the whole day together, and then Sunday early afternoon-ish then I would fly home. So you know, with him finally having his phone again, I thought that it'd be so much easier to be able to contact him. There was a weekend that he told me that he didn't have work and he had a full Saturday, Sunday to go and venture out into Chicago and just have fun and relax. I didn't hear from him that entire weekend. He didn't text me, he didn't call me. I thought that we would be able to like Skype or something, and I never heard from him that entire weekend, and that was a free weekend for him. And I was upset. That's another warning. When it's possible, they have to be able to make time for you. He came up with excuses whenever it was convenient for him. I understand I'm not asking for every second of every single day for you to communicate with me, but I was also at the time expecting a lot more effort for him because I did so much already. I already sacrificed so much money and time, and I've never flown alone before, but I did that for him. And that was like the mindset that I carried, was I would do anything for him and I would go anywhere that he wanted me to a certain extent. You know, I would still need him to reciprocate that type of effort. We eventually broke up over the phone after like 6 months of being long distance because I just really couldn't take it anymore. I asked him on the phone that day, I was like, you have to promise me that you're gonna make more effort when you can, you know, like you're gonna try. And he couldn't even give me his word. He said no. He said, I can't promise you that. And at that point, what am I supposed to do? Am I just supposed to be like, okay, that's cool, I'll stick it out with you? Like, no. At that point, I reached this epiphany. Like, I don't want to have to wait for your freaking phone calls. So not too long after we broke up, like literally probably like 6 months afterwards, he had a girlfriend. So he started dating again. He eventually married her. When I say my heart was broken, is an understatement. So many thoughts ran through my mind. How was he able to commit to her, a whole new relationship, and eventually marry her when he couldn't even commit to making us work? All the excuses of, I'm not an affectionate person, I don't like taking pictures, don't want to get married anytime soon, don't want a relationship at all of that went straight out of the window. Like, when I thought back on it, I was like, wow, your words are complete shit. I was hurt, I was lost, and you know, at the time I really felt like I wasn't enough for him to want to commit to. It's a lot for you to have to process. Now on to my biggest takeaways from the entire experience. The only way a military relationship will work is A, you are willing to sacrifice so much in your life to make it work. You don't mind uprooting yourself and traveling with them wherever they go to the end of time, and you're okay with that. Or B, you are okay with the distance and unpredictable schedules. You don't mind not speaking or seeing each other for who knows how long. Like, you're perfectly okay with that. That's great. All power to you. I am not like that. I am not that type of person. That is not the type of relationship that I want, and I eventually figured that out because people would tell me before he had to leave, like, oh, it's gonna be really hard, you know, long distance, a majority of the time doesn't work out. And I understand not everybody ends up like a failure or like a breakup story, but it is really tough. Unless you are okay with that, then yeah, this could totally work for you. So here is when your relationship will not work. The amount of effort isn't mutual because burnout will happen and leave you resenting one another. You're not completely happy with yourself and you still have toxic traits that you need to sort out because you will for sure leak those toxic traits onto your partner. And I say this because I speak from personal experience. You know, if you've got insecurities, if you've got jealousy issues, if you have goals that you still have yet to achieve in life and you put them on the back burner, you're not going to be happy in your relationship because you're not happy with yourself or where you're at. It is not going to be healthy regardless of how much you try to convince yourself otherwise. When I was with him, you know, I really had to find myself. I was insecure with my skin, like physically with my skin. I was breaking out so bad. I thought that I was gonna lose him, like I had some claim to him, and that's not okay. That's not healthy. I really didn't have a lot going on in my life other than college and work in terms of like my passions and what really fulfilled me, I was lost. And that's why I was okay traveling to wherever he was, because I really wasn't focusing enough on myself and my own needs. And in the end, I'm honestly so happy that it didn't work out. I was meant to grow bigger than I had originally planned. He found someone who matched him more. I'm not better than her, she's not better than me. She is just a better match for him. And she is someone that he felt he could properly commit to, whatever that reason is. And that's okay. You know, something that my mom taught me that has really taken me super far is nobody ever owes you anything. Just because I traveled, I remained loyal, and I did all these sweet things for him, that does not mean that he owes me anything. And if you continue to carry this mindset, you'll start to see all of the pain that you harbor inside will slowly start to disappear. That's just life. And whatever you do decide to do, it will work out the way that it's meant to work out. So, in conclusion, if you are still at this point in this video, I give you props. I gave you a little window of my past trauma. I want any of you who may be watching this because you're seeking comfort, or you're not sure what to do with your relationship, or you're scared that it may or may not work out, just know that you are enough. If you're having doubts like I was before my ex deployed, just understand you are worth all of the effort. You are worth someone keeping their word to. And when it comes to a long distance relationship, you really have nothing else to really go off of other than their word. So if they're not proving it to you and they're not backing up their word, then chances are they are just not ready to commit. I did ask him, I was like, so am I just gonna be the one that got away? And he said, yeah. Yet he still let me go. So that's what I'm saying. And I see now that I truly was meant to grow bigger and go farther in life than I ever thought that I would. And if you decide to stick it out, just know your worth. If you end up like me and you're currently trying to get over that person, or you're trying to figure out what went wrong in y'all's relationship, just breathe and just know that it's gonna be okay. I was holding my laptop that entire time. That's basically it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was informative in any type of way. And again, I am not throwing shade at my ex. I am not, trying to bash on anyone in the military. This is really just me sharing my personal experience with y'all, and honestly just giving some real ass advice. Something that I felt I knew back then, but I never was able to apply my knowledge to the situation. Oh my god, I am bloating. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment any thoughts that you have down below, and to subscribe. Stay tuned, I post every single Monday.